Half the exercises you do in the gym only work when you're sleeping 8 hours, recovering perfectly, and living on a predictable schedule. Go ahead and add in firefighting, and suddenly you find out exactly what matters and what was just gym culture in the first place. What I cut from my routine is almost the polar opposite of everything I had ever been taught in fitness culture. Not only did I cut out things like barbell squats, but I cut out weekly heavy deadlifts, and I dropped most machine leg work, and I got rid of dedicated shoulder day. And I'm in better shape now than I was when I was doing all of that. When you're training while working 24-hour shifts, running calls all night, and sleeping like absolute shit, you don't get to do everything. There's no room for nice to have. So I started asking myself some questions, like if I'm tired, stressed, and didn't sleep at all, does any of this still make sense? Or am I just doing it because that's what I've always done? And those questions had me cut out half of my training in total. Now here's what didn't make the cut. If you're brand new to lifting, then doing some core work makes sense, like planks, leg raises, cable crunches. You need to learn how to brace properly because your body doesn't know how to stabilize yet. But once you've been training for a while, and especially once you're on the job, carrying equipment, dragging hose, moving under load, a full core day is just overkill. Your core is already getting hit in everything that you do, lifting movements, bracing on calls. It's working every single session. I'll still throw in a few sets here and there when I feel like it, or do them between other exercises, but dedicating an entire session to abs is completely gone. And it's not because core doesn't matter, it's just already being handled everywhere else. And now this one's the big one. Deadlifts. In gym culture, they're basically sacred. Every program that I've ever done tells you to deadlift heavy, push your numbers, and do it consistently every week. And I actually agree to a degree. It's one of the best exercises you can do if your only goal is getting stronger in the gym. The problem starts when you add in the reality of the job. Heavy deadlifts didn't necessarily injure me, but they left my lower back tight for days, stiff and locked up. Then I'd go into shift or a call and feel it immediately. You're trying to move, rotate, and produce force, and it just feels restricted. It's not that deadlifts are bad, it's that doing them heavy every single week doesn't mix well with the demands of being a firefighter. At least it didn't for me. I'm not chasing numbers just because they look good on paper. The job doesn't care what you deadlift. It cares if your body actually works when you need it to. What I replaced these with were things like RDLs, single leg work, Nordic curls, and those became my main hinging movements. They build strength without beating me up the same way. And the truth is that weekly max effort deadlifts became something I just couldn't justify anymore. If I'm being really honest, I used to think that more volume in the gym meant more endurance on calls. Leg extension, hamstring curls, high reps. I thought that was gonna help me last longer when things got hard. And it ended up being completely backwards. You don't struggle on a structure fire because your legs lack endurance. You struggle because you can't produce force anymore and everything starts breaking down. You can't push, you can't stabilize. Your knees and ankles start taking over. You still need compound movements like split squats and hinges, but not to the degree where it's actually taking a hit on your recovery. And you see, when you focus on recovery, that's what actually keeps you strong and not being fatigued. Those are the things that are going to carry over when you're running fire calls. The fact is, the gym is supposed to build strength and make your joints more resilient in ways that translate to the fire ground. So I dropped most of the high rep machine work and I focused on the movements that actually made a difference. This next one kind of hit my ego a little bit. It was shoulder day. Front raises, rear delt flies, all the isolation work. I used to have a full day dedicated just to this. But when you actually look at what you're doing, pressing, pulling, carrying, overhaul, even just being in gear with your pack on, your shoulders are already getting worked constantly. If you add an entire extra day on top of that, it is just more fatigue, not more progress. So I'll still do a couple sets of shoulder press and Cuban press, but a full shoulder day is absolutely gone. Now, on a more egotistical note, I still love training arms. I'm not giving that up. But I did stop doing a ridiculous amount of volume. Pull-ups, dips, pressing. Your arms are already getting hit hard. I used to do 12 to 20 sets a week, thinking more was gonna be better. Now, it's one or two movements, a couple real working sets, actually pushing them for strength instead of just chasing a burn and having nothing actually change. And here's the thing, my arms didn't shrink. They didn't flatten out. They just responded to quality instead of quantity. It turns out the extra volume wasn't building more muscle. It was just making me more tired for no return. And then we got to talk about calves. When you're a firefighter, you're on your feet constantly, walking the station, running calls, climbing stairs, moving in gear. Your calves are already doing thousands of reps. Every step up a high rise is basically a calf raise. So doing endless high rep calf work in the gym on top of that, it's just redundant. If I train them now, and I don't really, if I'm being honest, but if I were going to, then it would be more for tendon health and mobility inside the ankle than anything else. Most of the time, I don't need it. You probably won't need it either. The job already covers it better than the gym is ever going to do. Now, what the fitness industry won't tell you is that most firefighters are just doing exercises because that's what they think they're supposed to do. Gym culture and the fitness industry tells you all of it is mandatory, and you believe it until your lifestyle actually demands something else from you. If you've been doing this any length of time, then you know that the cracks will show up immediately. You find out pretty quickly what you can actually recover from and what just sounds good on paper. You might not like it, but if you're a firefighter, the truth is you can't afford luxury exercises when you're doing real work on the job. So what's the point? Becoming a firefighter didn't force me to change my training. It just made it obvious what was actually necessary and what only worked when everything else in life was perfect, which was never. See, when you're actually under stress, you find out pretty quickly what you can afford and what's just taking up space. So take a look at your own training and ask yourself, what are you doing because it's actually helping you perform? And what are you just keeping because that's how you've always done it? Now, if you just heard that and you're unsure of how you could do it, then check out Now, if you just heard that and you're unsure of how to do this, then you can check out the free firefighter fat loss protocol that I have in the description, which has basically compiled all my years of experience into one protocol so that you can save yourself from the mistakes that I made in the process. And here's the thing, not only has this helped me, but it's helped over 1,000 other firefighters free up space in their life, actually learn how to recover and lose weight in a way that's practical for the lifestyle that they live. What we covered in this video is more so about what I don't do. And if you want to know some of the strategies that must be used to lose weight and get back into firefighter shape, then I cover those strategies in this video right here. So don't forget to check it out. Remember, being in shape is part of the uniform. I'll talk to you guys next time.